Experts in the environmental field are calling upon Murang'a residents to plant more trees and focus on natural-based disaster solutions like ecosystem risk reduction, eco-DRR. Now, according to the experts, the eco-DRR will reduce landslide impacts, especially to residents whose homes and livelihoods hang in the balance. They further argue that investments in ecosystem-based DRR strategies have a great potential for cost-effective avoidance of damage and casualties from disasters. Now, while offering multiple benefits to society, as Ann Masharia reports.
Homes hanging on for dear lives on the hillside of Murang'a County. Widening cracks can be seen, the effects of long rains that resulted to landslides. Murang'a County is one of the fertile counties in central Kenya, a county where tea production is top-notch and is grown mostly on very steep slopes that were originally covered with indigenous forest. Recently, the area has been recording very high amount of rainfall, and the area has been rocked by landslides that has left the livelihoods of many tea farmers hung in the balance. This homestead in particular, the landslide effects were felt to the core. It is here that we meet Masharia Waithaka with a 1.4-acre land, a piece of land that is called home for the last 80 years. Waithaka says he had a huge bang a few hours to morning, something which made him to wake up only to find part of his farm sunk, creating a huge cliff and a lot of water.
Riu kwahanika ni atera kionile riu mugunda ndire ni wathie na thi kinya kahua kinya ki riu haho ya kinyigirie tondu tiri ni ndaga tondu tiri wothe uri guthie na ki na ti guthie kihururuka ati uri ongirunga ni guthie na thi ni rigagiriria no gukutia na miti ngiagiririe kwanja gwacokirwo kiuma rũĩ rũnene mũno tutari tuona rũgĩikũrũka ona mũciĩ ũrĩa ũrĩ kĩanda nĩ wathamirwo nĩ makobokerwo ũrĩa tutari tuona rũĩ rũkiuma rũnene mũno gũkũ Ndumo.
He further mentioned that he has more than 2,000 bushes of tea and coffee, of some of which were destroyed by landslide. Due to the sinking of the land, it has become difficult picking tea, while many of his coffee bushes were destroyed. Many farmers around relate to Waithaka's story, in particular Rose Wanjiru, who was forced to move to a neighbor's house for safer grounds after many cracks of her farm sinking and water gushing out from the ground. The rusty padlocks and the bushy vegetation in her homestead indicate an abandoned home. Wanjiru narrates the pain she's been through, struggling to feed her family.
Kuma itura ria Kayu, Murang'a County. Ngeretie kuhanda miti, ndona miti ngahanda nigetha tondu no tuhandage miti guku nigetha turigiririe matuika matoneka no mage gutuika gwikurukia tiri. Riu ni handa miti gacoka ngahanda tuboco na tubembe na tuboga twa kuruga. Wira uria raruta wira ndurabota kuruta wira mwega tondu riu ona wakwa ni macani kuria mundu angiona tubeca macani macio ni magiire mai macio akigea mai macio makirikana thi guku macani-ini wona mundu akithi kugu athia na guo no muthire na mundu nigetha in case no urike na thi akugucie umire na nja.
The visit to Wanjiru's farm was one stop to a field trip to ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction and climate change. Since 1960, the county has experienced 116 landslides with many fatalities, but no one has perished recently. A fact the meteorologist puts down to better weather information through Kangema Ranet 106.5 FM, a radio station set up by Kenya Meteorological Department with the community.
Near Kangema FM 106.5 FM, broadcasting in Kikuyu language, and it's covering a radius of 30 kilometers. His main objective was to deal with the issues or sensitize the communities on the issues of landslides and flooding and other climatic risks like frost. But we have seen, because of the awareness and sensitization from the radio station, using the people and in their local language, we have been able, even if there is an increase in the incidences, the number of fatalities or those affected have greatly gone down. This time around, October, November, December, we never had a fatality. People relocate. People have already even accepted what we are promoting as a nature-based solution in terms of agroforestry because of awareness that we create through the radio station.
Ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction is a new field, falling under the large umbrella of nature-based solutions. One of its leaders is Professor James Kongo of Kenyatta University. Professor Kongo says disasters are never natural and that ecosystem disaster risk reduction is increasingly important as populations grow, tree cover diminishes, and the climate crisis worsens.
One of the things that we can be able to talk about and why there is the difference is because of what we are calling ecosystem-based disaster risk reduction. From what we have heard from the farmers is that this area, from as early as 1963, the area was totally covered with trees. But after independence, the farmer told us that the forest was cleared to make room for planting tea. And it is during that time that they started seeing small cracks on the land. What I can say is that why the cracks were there is because the soil had started moving. Because immediately you remove the trees, there is nothing to hold the soil. And thank God that these people later on, they decided to plant trees. And no wonder that is why we had a long delay. And with the problem of the climate change, where we are having a situation where like here in this county, they recorded a very high amount of rainfall. That one now became a trigger. And the good thing is a situation like where we are, where you can be able to see this big tree. What we need to understand is that underneath it is a very deep-rooted tree, and therefore even when the soils were moving, it was able to hold back. And no wonder that is why you realize the place here it has sunk, and if we dig, you realize that the rooting system reaches somewhere here, but where the tree is, it has not moved. And this is telling us the potential for planting trees to control landslides. And that is what I can tell you, that is the reason behind. But now what we need to find out is, yes, you can be able to see other trees, like even these ones, like this Prunus africana. But you can see it is a young Prunus africana. But it has a potential as an indigenous tree to be very deep-rooted. And the solution for such an area like this one is to identify and plant light tree species.
Many thanks, Anne Mashara. Now